Hi everybody, I'm Joy McClymont. Welcome to episode 3 of our Make Your Move webinar series. Tonight we're talking about one of my absolute all-time favourite topics to talk about in relationship to health and fitness, and that is motivation. So the topic for tonight is called Motivation Matters, and it really does matter. It is the single most significant thing involved in the process of making long-term change. There ain't not much you can achieve or change without motivation being the background of that. It doesn't only just apply to health and fitness, as you know. Motivation applies to whatever we want to change and achieve in our lives, whether it be a new career, whether it be a new routine in our lifestyle, whether it be buying a home, buying a property, running a new business. We need motivation to keep us focused on what we really want. We all strive for this high level of motivation to happen each and every day, and it doesn't always come to fruition. We're going to talk a lot about that tonight and about riding the motivational roller coaster. But also I'm going to step you through a process in order to outline some of the simple things that you can do that will help you establish some ways that you can reinvigorate your motivation when it feels like it's at an all-time low, and to even establish motivation to start something, which is a lot of what we experience when we're trying to achieve or change something with our health and fitness. We're usually stuck in a rut. We're usually in a place where we don't know what's going to work. We know we want to change and achieve something. We may not be too clear on what that is, and we just don't know where to go. We just want to be led in the right direction so that we can achieve what it is we want. So tonight I'm going to step you through a process that will help you define exactly what it is you want and a way to establish your motivation so that you can actually achieve that. Because without being motivated, we lack discipline and commitment and the mental toughness that it takes to make things happen. We expect that these things will happen overnight. And in fact, there's a lot of time and effort involved in changing and achieving a lot of things about our health and fitness. And I'm going to talk about that tonight. Motivation is a really important subject. And a lot of what I talk about tonight will be from my own experience, because you know what? Even though I'm a fitness trainer and I've done lots of sport, I haven't always been motivated. And I don't know anyone that's maintained a high level of motivation every single day of their life. You know, I've interviewed a lot of people over my time as a coach and even in Joy's Fitness Hub and the Spring Into Life program. And a lot of them have been elite athletes. And every single one of them says that I think that a lot of people are misled by the fact that elite athletes bounce out of bed every day and say, yay, I can't wait for this session, this is awesome. And they tick off every box. In fact, it's quite different. And they battle with this ability to stay motivated every single day, like a lot of us do. So it's a real life issue. Remember, I'm just an ordinary person like you guys. I don't have anything different going on in my life except that I'm running the Spring Into Life program and this business. I am exactly the same as you. I still have to wipe dirty bottoms, make beds, educate children, run a business. All those things still have to happen. So what I've learnt about motivation applies to me as a real life person and will apply to you too. And I'm hoping at the end of tonight's webinar you'll realize some of the things that might be able to help you. But let's get started. So the process I'm going to tell you about is called the TWD process, the thinking, wanting, and doing. Now I'm going to step you through each of these steps so that you get a clear understanding about what it is involved at that stage and how long it takes. Because in this day and age where we can click our fingers and reheat something or message someone in the blink of an eye, we ultimately expect that immediacy from everything. And I think we've forgotten about how patient we have to be when we're progressing our health and fitness. So, the TWD process, thinking, wanting, and doing. It's really simple, but it will set the wheels in motion for you to determine exactly what you want and exactly what you're going to do to get there, which is all part of establishing a high level of motivation. Okay, so let's start with thinking. Now, I've got on the slide there, it says, don't call it a wish, call it a plan. Now, the thinking stage of this process is where you take some time. You take some time to think about what it is you truly want without being influenced by what other people are telling you should want or what other people are telling you should do. It's got to be what you think about and think is important to you. What do you want to feel? Okay, so think about what you want to feel. Think about if you want to achieve something. And think about the experiences that you want. So this is particularly relating to health and fitness. When I talk to people about, the fact that they've fallen off the wagon, they don't know how to pick themselves up and get back, with that fire in their belly to exercise, or they haven't done it for years and they don't know where to start, it always starts with the thinking about what it is. Why do they even want to change? Why do you even want to achieve that? Why do you want to feel that? What is important to you? Because if it's important to you and it means something to you, then you are 110% more likely to actually stick to your guns and do it. If it means something to your husband or your wife and not you, then you can be sure that it won't happen, that you'll drop the motivation for it. The same applies when people, might begin one of the programs I've established and then they'll fall off the wagon. The one thing I ask them every time is, why did you start? Can you remember what it was that you thought about when you started and signed up to this program? Sometimes we easily forget because we let life get in the road. So in this process, I want you to think carefully about what it is you want to feel, what it is you want to achieve or experience. Because, in fact, a lot of people actually want to experience sort of climbing a mountain, or they want to experience the fun of doing something with their children, or being able to, obtain a new skill. They want to experience that. And that's part of their health and fitness journey. There are so many ways that we can feel and achieve and experience new things, but it all starts with us taking some time to think about it and not act hasty, not rush in and say, oh, yeah, I want to lose 10 kilos. Do you really? Why? What does that mean for you? What are you going to be able to do when you lose that 10 kilos? Now, anybody who has anything to do with me and any of the programs I run, you know how much I bang on about the fact that specific soul weight loss goals, to me, aren't a driving factor for long-term change. Because I believe that people need to think a little bit deeper about what they want to feel and achieve and experience within health and fitness, regardless of what they weigh. I think when you put a number on the scale and that determines whether you're good, bad, or ugly, I think we can get trapped about what's really valuable and what's the valuable part of health and fitness. So when you're thinking about what you want from your health and fitness journey, I want you to think about how you feel, how you want to feel, what you want to achieve, and what you want to experience. Now, it may not be all those three things, but it's got to be some of those things. Get down deep, dark, and dirty with yourself so that you can really nut out what it is you want. So thinking is the first part of this process. The second part, wanting. Do what floats your boat. Do what you want to do. So you've thought about what it is. Now you've got to decide, okay, to achieve that, what do I want to do? To feel that, what do I want to do? To experience that, what do I want to do? There is no point in trying to be a runner if you hate running, or if you indeed have major injuries that inhibit you from running. There is no point in doing something that you are inevitably going to resent doing every single day. Because when it becomes something really, foreign to you, when it's something that you're not interested in, your motivation won't be there to do it. When it is something that you actually enjoy, like, for example, I love going outdoors and exercising. I don't always get a chance to do it because a lot of the time it's dark maybe, and I've got kids with it and my husband's not here. There's lots of things at play. However, when I do get that chance to go outside, I know that this is where I'd prefer to be, and I'm doing what really floats my boat. I choose sports and I choose activities and I choose ways of moving that actually excite me about being fit, that actually make me feel like I've got more energy. I don't do physical activities and sport to feel totally useless and like totally unmotivated at the end of it. I choose the things that I enjoy doing because, there are so many options in the movement field. There's so many ways that we can move. We get bogged down in thinking there's only one or two. But in fact, the Spring into Life program I've created, I've never repeated a workout. And I've been running this program for 18 months. Every single live workout that I do is new. There's a new way to exercise for every single minute of the day, and I don't say that lightly. But I think we get a little bit tunnel visioned about what it is we can do. A lot of the time when I talk to people about what sort of things I'd like to do, they obviously say the normal, the walking, running, that sort of thing. But when we start talking about step-ups and circuits and using this and doing that and challenging themselves in different ways, it becomes clearer to them that the reason why they were unmotivated was because they were actually a bit bored with the types of exercise that they were doing. Variety really is a critical factor in keeping physically fit, but it's also a critical factor in maintaining motivation. When you have a variety of different things that you get to choose from to do each day that will tick that fitness box, then you're a little bit more excited about it. Because if you don't feel like going for a run, you can go for a ride. If you don't feel like doing a ride, maybe you can do a strength circuit. You can do lots of different things. So you've got some options to apply to the mood. So thinking about what you really want to do and doing what floats your boat is really a significant part of staying motivated. And the last part of this TWD process is riding the motivational roller coaster. So many times I've had conversations with people saying that, I'm just not motivated, I've fallen off the wagon, I'm only doing one session a week. It does not matter about the fact that you've fallen off. The only thing that matters is whether you actually get back on. Acknowledging that you've fallen off is the first part. Taking action and saying, I fell off, ho-hum, that's okay. Pick up my bottom lip. I'm going to get back on this roller coaster and ride it again. That is where true mental strength and toughness comes into it. That is a sign of true motivation, knowing what you can do to get back into the game. Because we all do it. We all fall on and off the roller coaster all of the time. And I'm telling you this not because I see it with the people I train, but because it happens with me too. Everybody. But the difference is whether we give up altogether and we say, I just got too busy and everything came in front of me and I didn't fit in. I don't think I can do it. Well, you actually can. But it comes down to whether you really want to and whether you've thought about the fact what you really want. Because if your thinking and your wanting is strong enough, then whether you fall on and off, it will still happen, but the getting back on will be easier because you'll know exactly what you want and it'll mean a lot to you. So you won't want to give up on it. Riding the motivational roller coaster is one of the trickiest elements to coach people through because, and you guys all listening will know this, because you inevitably want to give up on yourself, but when somebody's not letting you give up on yourself, it's really hard to, not believe them. And that's my job as a coach, is I want people to feel like I've got your back. Even though you may not believe that it's possible at this stage, it's my job as a coach to get you back in the game, get you off the sideline and back in the game. And that's what the coach does, and that's what I do, and I love that job. Because before you know it, after a few dropouts, people will get the hang of it. Everybody does. Whatever we practice, we get better at, and practicing falling off the roller coaster and getting back on is just like another thing that we get better at doing. Because the more we get back on, the more we believe that we can at any stage. So what I see is that at the start of a new program, at the start of a new change in our life, we're humming along okay, we fall off the motivational roller coaster and we want to give up on the whole show. If somebody and a group of people or a coach can get you back on that roller coaster that time and keep you humming along a little longer, then you fall off again and you may not fall off so hard. And you go, oh, well, this has happened before. What did I do last time? Oh, I just got somebody to give me a little shove. Yep, do that again. And then the falls become less often and they become less hard. And that's exactly what happens on the journey. Now, for some people, it takes, maybe 2 months to get through that. Some people still have it going on after a year. But the main point is that they actually get back on. They pick up the pieces, they soldier on, they do it again. They have another shot. It's this giving up that I won't accept. It's this throwing in the towel and saying, that's it, over, I failed again. I can't accept it. Because health and fitness, to me, is just so important. And they know it's important too. But at times when life gets busy, they forget. And we've got to remind them. So not only me, but the support group that you're with, the training group, whoever it might be. It's our job, and that's the benefit of being in a training group, is that everybody's in the same boat. We're all in there batting for each other because we all realise it's not easy. So riding the motivational roller coaster is a tricky lesson to learn, and it takes commitment and discipline, because when motivation declines, when it falls through the floor, discipline takes over. You've got to be disciplined to, even though you're not feeling motivated, you've got to be disciplined to get back in it. And that's a tough one to learn. I still believe that it's possible for everybody, even though they sometimes won't believe it. There's a really awesome quote that I always remember when life gets really tough. When you knock on the door of opportunity, remember it is work that answers. So even though we may want all of these great things in our lives and we want to achieve change and we want to achieve wonderful things, remember that every time we knock on that door to achieve that or strive for that opportunity, we still have to follow it up with work. Sometimes people knock on the door and they think it's going to be smooth sailing all of the way through, and it ain't that easy. And that's what makes success so darn sweet, is that we get through all of those challenges that get thrown at us when we've opened that opportunity door. We get back up on our feet when we get knocked down. We don't give up on what we really want. It's all of those things that makes the success at the other end so much more special. Okay, another important factor when we're talking about motivation is having patience with progress. Every single person is individual. Every single person has a different perspective on a fitness journey, and one that, will involve maybe a great deal of changes in their lives. So when people are wanting to change or achieve something in relation to their health and fitness, they may say, right, today's the day, I'm going to start today. This is it. Now, they could be thinking that they're going to change or achieve that thing that they badly want in a blink of an eye. And then, lo and behold, they might get injured. They could get ill. One of their children could get ill. Life throws them a curveball. Or they realize that it's going to take a little bit more work than they realized. I'm always reinforcing to people that you have to be patient with progress, patient with your progress, not only with physical fitness, but changing old habits particularly. A lot of the time we have eaten, we have acted, we have moved in a particular way for a really long time in the same way. And we've created some solid habits. Now, not all of those movements and eating habits will be bad. Some of them will be great. But the ones that we want to change are embedded in our mind and our actions, and they're hard to break. But if we are patient with ourselves and a little bit forgiving, then we can progress change at a slow rate, but we have to be patient with that progress. One of the things that Stacey and I talk about a lot is the fact that we don't want people coming into our programs and having a complete and utter overhaul in the first 14 days and then slipping back into old habits at the blink of an eye. We don't believe that that is how you create long-term change, and we're all about being fit and healthy for life. We're not about in here, eat well for 2 weeks and then ping off. A lot of the time people get a little bit shocked when they enter our programs because it's so simple to start with. We just give some simple little things that they can do to make one change to their diet, one change to the way they move, one change to their positive attitude. That's all. They just focus on the simple things first. And once they start to make those little changes, and they won't always be 100% successful with all of them, it doesn't matter. We've got to be thinking about progress over time. But what it does do is make them patient with themselves. I'm just going to do this the best I can. And once we are easier on ourselves, just a little bit, without being too Nazi strict, I must not ever let this type of food pass my lips until the day I die. If we do that, we end up locking ourselves into this guilt factor if we ever have it. It's about establishing a belief in a way of eating and having that part of your life and just normal everyday living. And that's, we change those habits little bit by little bit, step by step. And it all adds up to make a significant difference. But being patient with progress is critical, especially if you've got any complicated issues like chronic diseases, like long-term injuries. People have to be patient with their progress when it comes to those things because it can often be 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, especially when we're trialing new ways of moving with them or we're trialing new ways of eating, and it doesn't always work for everybody. You have to go on your own little individual journey as well, but obviously use people around you to make that happen. Don't drop the motivation just because you've come across one little block that won't let you progress so easily. We're always trying to instill in people, let's get this problem-solving attitude happening. When you've got a problem, there's got to be a way around it. There's got to be a modification, a solution here. What can we do? Don't focus on what you can't do, or don't always focus on the bad thing and relive that nightmare. Let's work around it. Okay, we've come across that. It's happened. What can we do to make and to keep you progressing? That's such an important part of not only a health and fitness journey, but of life. If you're going to give up just because one little thing or one thing has stopped you from achieving that, then you didn't deserve to get there anyway. You have to actually show some perseverance and be patient with your progress so that you can problem solve your way around those things. I always use the analogy that, you've got to see the possibilities beyond the impossible. The impossibles will blind you all the time. Can't do this, can't do that, too busy, not enough time, injured, ill, too old, whatever, it's cold, wet, whatever. The impossibilities will slam you in the face and they'll blind you. You have to start thinking about what's possible for me, because motivation depends on it. If you're going to stay motivated, you've got to be looking at what's possible. You can't get bogged down on the nightmare all the time with any aspect of life. So having patience with progress is critical. The other extremely important element behind motivation is pushing perfection aside. Now, you all know that I am not a perfect fitness trainer that's glossy and groomed and perfected Lycra clothing. I'm not about that. And it's never worried me. It's never, just because I don't have the flash shoes, it's never stopped me from exercising. Just because I don't, have exactly the right type of bra on today, it's never stopped me. Don't worry about every workout and every meal and every type of equipment or yourself. Don't worry about it being perfect, because perfection doesn't mean anything in the whole scheme of things when you're trying to change your health and fitness. Honestly, if you just put all that aside and said, I'm just going to make it happen, I'm not going to worry about whether I've got jeans on or boots on, whether I've got a dirty floor or a clean one, I'm not going to worry about whether the kids are with me or not. If you put all that, idea of perfection aside, you'd actually just get it done. You would get it done. It's as easy as that. So once you push all those expectations that you place on yourself about what needs to happen for it to be the perfect workout or for you to succeed, then you actually just make it happen. It's a bit like what happens when you say, I can't do this workout because it's 20 minutes long and I don't have 20 minutes. What about if you just said, well, I don't have 20 minutes, but I have 10, I can just do half of it. That is way better than the first way of thinking, which was, I don't have 20 minutes, I won't do anything. Always something is better than nothing. It's so critically important to be actually thinking about you and what's important rather than what's perfect. Even though I run a program that is laid out in weeks and days and things like that, people do start to wonder about, I've got to really lock in to doing this, week perfectly. I've got to nail it. What happens if I don't? They get caught up in that perfection cycle, and they could be repeating the same week for 5 weeks if they get bogged down in that. So lucky I have lots of ways of picking up on those people and saying, you know what, it doesn't matter about whether you did that daily exercise only 5 days out of 7, you can still move on. Don't get bogged down in every single workout, every single week, every single meal being perfect. Otherwise, none of us would progress. We'd still be doing tasks from 1982 if that was the case. So perfection really has never been a big problem for me, because I think just getting it done is what actually makes progress happen. Way more than getting bogged up in perfection and just doing, one perfect workout a week and never going back because, the kids were with me, it was a bit dark, my shoes, I couldn't find my sock, or, all these things that we create in our mind about what needs to exactly happen for us to get fit. And in fact, none of it needs to happen. All you need to do is actually do it. So the time we spend in thinking about, all the perfect stuff could have been spent on actually getting it done. So what now? How do you start taking action? Well, I've got some questions for you first, because obviously motivation is a critical factor, but I want to address some of the common misleading opinions that people have about themselves that inhibit their ability to start and their ability to stay motivated. So let's see if you recognize yourself in any of these. Am I too unfit to be fit? Commonly known about from the person who believes that they've been so long away from exercise, they feel so sloppy, they feel so overweight, they feel so unfit that they actually don't think they can even start. So that is a really common self-opinion. I want to be confident, but obviously I don't know how. So these are people that, remember, health and fitness has a huge part to play in how we feel about ourselves, not only our body and what it looks like, yet all that pushed aside, you could be one workout away from standing tall in a room, just one workout away from a good mood. Health and fitness has that impact on everything. You know, a lot of people say, and it's ridiculous, but I know it too. They might be feeling so down in the dumps. They feel like they're 10 kilos overweight. Their jeans are too tight. Everybody's looking at them. They're ugly, all those things. They do one workout. Nothing has changed about their body from that one workout. Absolutely nothing. But as soon as they finish it, they feel immediately 10 kilos lighter, so much more confident, all those things. It's not what happens to our bodies. It's what happens in our heads. That is what is amazing about exercise. That is the true benefit of it. I keep falling off the wagon. They know that they keep falling off the wagon. They just get frustrated with themselves that it happens so often, and they just don't know whether they can commit. A common occurrence. I don't have time. I will dispute this until the cows come home, because it's not about not having enough time. It's that exercise and eating well isn't a priority for you, therefore you don't find the time. Because, in fact, we all have enough time to do whatever we want and whatever we deem to be important, but it's quite often that we don't deem it important enough, so we don't do it. And I'm not talking about, you know, exercise to me, there's no rules about how long it's got to be. And there's no rules about what it's got to be like. It's just got to be good, solid movement above daily activity levels. Now, anyone that says I don't have enough time has never thought about the importance of doing 5 minutes, or has never thought that there's any value in doing a 2-minute core workout. Or, you know, they've become so tunnel visioned about, exercise has got to be 30 minutes, 3 times a week, this intensity. In fact, it does not. And for about 6 years, I did whatever I could, 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, whatever it took to create that exercise habit. And in fact, that all created a really solid foundation for my health and fitness. Everybody says it, not just me. But people get stuck in their mind about not having this pipe dream amount of time. And when they can't meet that, they don't think they're doing any good. So there are some common statements about people, about themselves, in a reflection of, you know, what their fears are when they're establishing or wanting to change something about their health and fitness. They're commonly what I hear from other people. And it may not be in those words, but it's definitely the way that they're feeling. So what is our health worth to us and our family? Well, this is part of what motivates me. It's not only that I love health and fitness, but, you know, I love the way my kids look at me when I'm being active with them. I love the way that they try and race me. I love the way that they know that I can do a cartwheel. I love the way that they know that I do this fitness thing every day and they want to do it with me. I love that they see that, and I love that my husband knows that I'm a fit mother and I am a sporty mother, and my kids want a sporty and fit, and I want them to be like that too. It's just such a healthy way to be in a family. Not only does it give you so much satisfaction as an individual that you can still move and be strong and be fit and have good eating habits and instill those in your family. It gives that for yourself, but it shows your family a role model that is just vitally important, vitally. You know how much we pick up from our parents about, you know, eating and how we act and how we move, and we pick up so much. Kids are just like sponges, absolute sponges. They'll copy you to the end of the earth to a certain age, and then they'll want to go off and do their own thing. But the health of my family and me is a lot in the mother's hands, because we do most of the cooking, but the kids see us a lot too. And they see their fathers for sure, but they see the way a mother handles a day, how much time and what ingredients we put in food. They see what we do with our time. They see the cooking and the cleaning and the managing of children's behaviour and the washing of clothes and the grooming, and they see how we look after ourselves. And that is absolutely critical. In this day and age, when we've got commercial processed foods getting jammed down kids' throats and, inactivity with technology, sitting on computers and iPads and all those things, they're infiltrating into our lives like nothing else. But we have to keep the balance. The health of ourselves and our families is absolutely paramount. Without it, we are a mess, an absolute mess, and things become unstuck really easily. I'll just give you a quick example. I had a client who was a mother, busy mum, lives on a property, 3 kids, husband contracting away a lot. She was addicted to Coca-Cola. She was excessively overweight, and she just was very short on time out for herself. Now, she really struggled. Her kids drank a lot of soft drink. She drank a lot of soft drink. Their behaviour was bad. Her moods were terrible. And she knew all this. She knew all of this, but she just couldn't get a grasp on how to change it. Now, the only thing that happened, the only difference that being a part of the Spring into Life program and being involved with me was that she had some backup. That was the only difference. The only thing I did was tell her, you can't drink soft drink. It's messing with your body, it's messing with your mind, it's going to send you all crazy and sick. And, I'm a bit hardcore on soft drink as it is, as you know, but I just had to tell it to her straight so that she knew the importance of it. So basically, she just had the backup from me and the group and the program, and it changed her. And before she knew, it wasn't such a big deal. She couldn't believe it had taken so many years to overthink changing just that one thing. And in a week or 2, she didn't even really notice it. She didn't even really crave it all the time or anything like that. And she was good for it. She was on the up. She'd achieved something. She'd changed something. But just that importance of the health of you and your family, you just cannot underestimate how critical that is. So ask yourself, what is your health worth to you and your family? You've really got to, keep the glue together and keep everybody humming along as best you can. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect all the time, but even the small things make the biggest difference. So here's where I tell you about how you can take things to that next level of applying what you've learned over this webinar series and tonight, how you can take things that I've talked about with you to the next level in a range of different ways. So there's 3 significant components that Stacey and I are absolutely committed to helping people change, helping people to improve with. And that's fitness, nutrition, and motivation. I didn't want to do fitness alone because, as we know, absolutely nothing about our health is absent from nutrition. And to do any of those things, you need motivation. So that is why those 3 levels exist: fitness, nutrition, and motivation. It's critical. So when I developed the Spring into Life program with Stacey Curcio, our naturopath nutritionist, we knew that we needed those 3 things in there because over time coaching people, when it was just fitness, very little changed. When it was fitness and nutrition, it was great, but we found people needed that moral support and that motivation to keep progressing those 2 elements. So the Spring into Life program is a very holistic fitness and well-being program. It's not just a wham-bam, crazy core in 6 days, have that, 6-pack in no time. It's not one of those programs because it's one of those programs that benefits the whole family and is established around creating long-term healthy habits for life. We're not about crash diets. We're not about extreme eating programs or extreme exercise programs. We're about teaching people and educating everyone about how to create healthy habits in your life for the long term. And that's where this program is completely different. Now, this program, I know I say that it's completely different, but the only reason I know is because before creating this, I tried bucket loads of different ways to get fit, and none of them floated my boat. They either took too much time, they needed so much equipment, they gave me a meal plan that was with ingredients that I would never buy and actually couldn't buy, and it was all too polished and it didn't fit with my lifestyle. And that was the problem I had, and that's why putting this program together has been so good, because both Stacey and I are mothers with children that work and husbands and lots of other stuff going on in our lives. If we can't make it happen, then it's no good. We won't put it in the program. If it doesn't mean something to us, if it's not achievable, then we won't. But I still believe that you can have an excessively fit, healthy way of life, exceedingly fit, healthy way of life, by starting small and creating small little changes. And that's where the long-term benefits are. So to tell you a little bit more about the fitness component, so there is a variety of different ways we move. Everybody knows how bored you get with just doing the same workouts day in, day out. As far as physical fitness is concerned, we need variety, especially intensity training, alternating speeds, and you don't have to be super fit to do that. This fitness component is suitable for any fitness level. It doesn't matter whether you have exercised regularly or whether you have been away from exercise for months and months. There's always something you can do. And that's why in the program we outline exactly what every level does. And we give you things to try and to challenge yourself in a range of different ways. Movement is critical. So the benefits of doing a variety of fitness is that you actually start to enjoy it. You learn more about the way that your body should and can move. So you're improving your mobility and you're improving your strength, stamina and speed with it. A lot of the time people say, there's a lot of different sessions in this program. I haven't done much just straight running. I've done a lot of different types of circuits and strength work, but I haven't done much straight running, so I might go out and go for a run in the next couple of weeks. And they're always shocked at how well they can run just from doing those short little interval intensity sessions or the strength sessions. It has a marked impact on your stamina. So even though they may not be going out and spending half an hour running every day, they're still doing a great deal of strength and ability work in those shorter sessions. Time efficiency is important. Having a fitness program that fits with life is flexible but allows you to be fitting it in with what's going on in life but enables you to be committed is important. It was important for me. It still is. And it's important to a lot of what I deliver. Okay, so Stacey, obviously our wonderful nutritionist and naturopath, she's so well read and so well researched with such a wide range of topics. After much, talking about the program with her, we decided on some set food tasks that people focus on one a week. We're not going to just say, okay, every day this week you have to have these types of breakfasts. But we are going to say each day this week you have to focus on having a palm-sized portion of protein. That way people can apply that to their own life. Now, as we know, people are strung out with accessibility to food, lots of different types of food. A lot of people living in rural and remote Australia will be hard-pressed to find some of the ingredients that are laid out in most meal plans. So that's why we believe that just by putting one food task on people for a week enables them to build up enough time and flexibility in their life to practice it and apply it according to what's in their pantry. And practicing it and keeping on, developing that as much as they can is important. But also they get to learn about why it's important. It's ridiculous when you follow a meal plan and you're eating a certain way and you don't know why you should be having, yogurt at breakfast. You don't know why you should be having a small dinner. What Stacey and I do is we bring some education behind the food task so that you actually understand why it's important and how it's impacting on your body. The perfect one is fermented foods. So for 1 week in our program, everybody's going to try and access some fermented foods each day. Now, there's a lot of different types, as you know, but we also back it up by saying why fermented foods are so important for us. So it gives people the education behind it. And when you know something, you believe it. And when you believe it, you do it. And you do it for the long term. So the nutrition component is critical. But it's also achievable for everyday people like you and me who may not be able to go to the shops every day. So the next part is motivation and mindset. Now, there's a lot of different ways and strategies we use within the program to keep people motivated. Obviously, I don't mind the odd chat, and so I keep tabs on a lot of things that go on. One of the reasons why we have weekly reflection tasks and assessment sheets in the program where people can give feedback on how their week was is so that they actually feel like somebody's there with them. Because so many times when we sign up to programs, we're just like another person in the thousands and millions and nobody really knows who we are and you can't really talk to your trainer. That's not what this program is about. And in fact, when I first established it, I wanted to make sure that people still were able to connect with me and felt supported within a group. Because essentially this is an online virtual training group. It simulates what it should feel like when you turn up to a workout in the flesh, or when you're doing a program with a friend and they're sitting there right next to you and you're talking about, not wanting to do the session. We're simulating that online, virtually, via the phone, via the computer. We're simulating that so that people get to feel connected regardless of where they live or what their lifestyle is like or what their age is or whatever. And then there's lots of strategies that we come up with in the program to help people connect. We do teleconferences, we do Facebook competitions, we do challenges, we do buddy systems. There's so much stuff that goes on to enable people to connect and stay motivated so that when they fall off the wagon, somebody's got their back. Absolutely. If that's the only thing I can ever deliver, then I'll deliver that, because that is worth more than anything, is that somebody's there supporting you 100% of the way. So the Spring into Life program, it's an extensive online program, but there's lots of things that we've created to make it progressive so that you go from one point to the other, but also it's a really clear way of seeing how far you've come. And it's a really holistic program because there's lots of bonuses that we've created that we're going to share with you tonight that make it easier to keep the program going with or without internet connection. So to tell you about the 3 levels within the Spring into Life program, they're labelled Entry, Build and Ascend. And you can pace yourself through them at your own speed. I'm always trying to tell people, don't worry about keeping up. Just keep progressing at your own pace. But to give an overview, the entry level really is about establishing some strong base fitness, strength, stamina. It's also designed to ease you into making small but achievable and significant changes to your diet. Because if it's too hard and too hardcore at the start, then people will find it really challenging to try and keep that momentum up. We want to make sure that you're physically fit and safe to keep moving on so that each week and each level you move on to becomes achievable for you, challenging but achievable. And also extend your knowledge because, like I said, everything we do we have to underpin with education. If we don't have people understanding why they should move this way, or why they should eat that, then they're likely not to keep that going. So we want people to understand why you should reduce sugar in your diet, how to address binge eating, all of those sorts of concepts. The entry level really is the base fitness level. There's still flexibility for you to do the beginner, intermediate, or advanced level. So this is why it's important to not think that you have to be really fit or unfit to join this program. It's suitable for any fitness. The build level then consolidates some of those lessons and those movements, the nutrition tasks. It takes them to the next level so that people, after creating some really simple habits with their eating and creating some base strengths, can be challenged just a little bit more with the way that they move. Maybe they're ready for an extra session in the program. They're stepping up the bar just a little bit. And as I said, it is self-paced, and you can scale it back or supercharge it up. And even if you get an injury, that's where I come into it. Remember, I'm the coach behind this. So people can always contact me and say, Joy, I'm really struggling. How can I modify this session? Or am I doing this right by doing it this way? We have such an interactive Facebook group, you just wouldn't believe it. Everybody just is astounded at how personal, how quick the responses are, how everybody helps and answers people's questions. It's not about everybody doing perfectly. In fact, we've got quite a few people that have said, I'm struggling this week. I'm going to post in here every day. Can you guys just check that I have? And sure enough, it happens. We're creating that accountability virtually, and it works really well because it keeps people on the roller coaster. So the build level just deepens that understanding about how your body is working, what it needs, and in both fitness and nutrition. And the third level is ascend. The ascend level is a little different to the entry and build level. It starts to give you a bit more flexibility by mapping out 30 days of a fitness plan. However, you don't have to stick to every single day being exactly right. You can juggle them around. I just reinforce to people at the end of the 30 days, be good to have everything ticked. So it's flexible, but it focuses on commitment as well. The benefit of the ascend level is that it really does consolidate what you've learned. It allows you to have a little bit more breathing space so that you can start to look at the 30 days ahead and map it out with your life. It also challenges you on the food front because you know how we can become a little complacent about food and we can be going along really well, and then all of a sudden we just, have forgotten about something critical and we've let a little bit more sugar sneak in, or we've, had a few more alcohol days than we need to. Well, the ascend level really does focus on challenging people to rein in some of those big-ticket nutrition items, like, for example, hydration. As it's critical to drink enough water or have enough good fluids in your body in the day. So we challenge people to say, right, this challenge for this month in the food department is that you must have this quota of food, of water each day. And on the motivational front, Stacey and I get together and really give you a powerful audio recording of the key element, the 1% that will make the difference to your success in that month. And that is really a big boost for people because listening to that gets you over the line when you're not thinking that you really have it in you to do well this month. It's the 1% that you can do that will really make a difference to how you feel about your success for that month and what you're trying to achieve. So having those power chats in there has been really beneficial. So there are so many levels of the Spring into Life program, and it can go on for as long as you like. You can start and progress for as long as you like. It is like a never-ending gym membership, but with so much more variety and so much personalized assistance. Support is critical to us, absolutely. Now, you guys have all shown such a commitment to engaging over these last 3 episodes in this Make Your Move series, and we wanted to officially launch this intake at this teleconference so that people had an opportunity to join the Spring into Life program together and work together as a group. So for this group that are listening to this webinar, the program is usually $1,164 a year or $127 per month. And in fact, after this launch, we will be opening up to the public like that. But because you have actually taken some action and committed to listening to these episodes, we know that it means a lot to you to be healthy and fit. And so we're offering a special early bird price for this launch, and it's $97 a month or $970 for the whole year of fitness, nutrition, and motivation. A whole year, $970. So let me tell you also about some of the bonuses that we've put together for you to be able to take this program wherever you want. Even though it is online, I still want people to feel like they can continue the program regardless of where they are, whether they've got connection or not. Because it is so frustrating when you sign up to something and the only way you can find out what the session is tomorrow is by logging onto the internet. And when you don't have it all the time, it's very, it can be inhibiting, and in fact it can stifle your motivation badly. So we've put the first 24 weeks into a spiral-bound diary. The whole outline of the fitness sessions, the nutrition task, and the reflection task, plus blank diary pages, because recording your progress as you go is really important. Ticking those boxes, feeling accountable to yourself, knowing what you've done. That's all part of staying motivated. So you get, as part of this Spring into Life intake, as part of the package, you get a diary valued at $67, but it is included in the $97 a month or $970 annual membership. It's included. It's not an extra payment. It's included in that price. The second bonus, because of the difficulty, and if you're anything like me, I bloody hate having to download and upload and all those sorts of things. I don't want you to have to rely on internet connection. So all of the videos, the workouts, the teleseminars, anything that you might need to listen or watch from the internet, we've put onto a USB, and you will get that as part of your package as well. That means that you can just plug it into your computer. You'll be able to watch the daily exercise for that week 2 or whatever it might be, and you'll still be able to keep humming along with the program. You won't need to use your internet data. Very handy. So remember, this is all part of the $97 per month package. And if you go to joysfitnesshub.com, you'll be able to sign up and start straight away. In fact, if you start now, you'll be able to join in right from today and also be invited to live workouts next week with me over the phone, which is very fun and exciting. The third bonus is the MP3 player. Now, one of the amazing things about our program is that, you know how when you're in a gym and you're in a fitness class and you've got that trainer there and they're bossing you around and they're in your ear, but when you live in the middle of nowhere or you're traveling or you don't like going to a gym or you can't, then you don't have that. Well, this is what we've created to replace that. One of my friends called it Get Off Your Ear with Joy in Your Ear, but it really is me in your ear pretending to be your trainer. So basically, I record my voice doing the workout that you have to do in one of like week 2 or week 3. Every week there's one of them. You press play, you plug the earphones in, and I just tell you what to do, and you do it with me. Exactly the same. So it's like having a trainer in your ear. It comes fully loaded with the workouts from the program, but also, as you know, I do live workouts over the phone twice a week for everybody in the program as a bonus. They, or the best ones, are put onto the MP3 player as well. So if you just want to do something in the motel room, or if you want to do something in the kitchen while the kids are asleep, you can choose any one of those live workouts and do them, because you don't need any equipment and you don't need any space. You just need like a little, 2 meter by 2 meter area, and you can do all of them. So there's so many of them to choose from. You're never without an option to exercise. Heaven forbid. So remember, joysfitnesshub.com. It's $97 per month or $970 for the whole year, which means you get essentially 2 months free. So it's a really good opportunity to lock in that motivation for the year. The fourth bonus is an ebook of over 75 recipes that are no grain and no dairy. So they're created by our wonderful country cook, Rosalind Rees. She's always posting new recipes in our Facebook group as well, but she's collected the best 75, and they're available in an ebook. Later on in the year, they'll be available in print, but that's just between you and I for the moment. That is valued at $57, but it's included in your membership price. We really want people to be able to just grab something, a recipe, and know that it ticks all the boxes with the nutrition tasks that Stacey and I have put together. And that's what these recipes do. They're quick, they're easy, they're ingredients that you have in your cupboard, or they're ingredients that we know you can buy from most supermarkets. Yes, there are some weird ingredients out there, and a lot of us do exchange websites and ways of buying online, but Roz cooks simply, and she cooks closest to the natural source, and it's simple. She was a shearer's cook, and she was a great one. She's adapted all those recipes to be super, super healthy and tick all the nutritional boxes. It's a really valuable part of the program. Again, $97, that recipe book is included, as well as the MP3. A lot of people think, do I have to pay extra for the recipe book? No, you don't. It's all in that subscription price, and you can't, miss out on doing anything within the program with all of these resources at your fingertips, like the recipe book, the MP3 player, the USB. They've all been created so that the program is accessible to you from anywhere and at any time. You don't have to wait to be near the computer or a perfect amount of time. It's all about just progress and having those resources there so you can just start. So the fifth bonus is obviously food, and I would include nutrition and lifestyle medicine tutorials with Stace. She has just the most fantastic knowledge of food and our bodies, and brings just a whole new level of understanding about, illnesses and how they can be impacted and helped by what we eat. A lot of the mood and stress levels we experience, how we can actually alleviate some of those symptoms through nutrition. A lot of those tutorials that Stacey puts together are short but extremely informative. Menopause, hormones, all those sorts of things come into play when we're talking about progressing our health and fitness. Some critical issues, and they are included in your membership. So as a member, you have full access to Stacey and I and all of the things that we put together, webinars, tutorials, exercises, programs, whatever it might be. We really look after you as a member because we want you to get out of it what you need. And, not everybody will use everything within the program, but we want to offer it and cover as many different bases as possible. Some of you might get more out of the USB than the recipe book or whatever it might be, but it's so much value to you if you ever, need something to quickly grab and need to watch that video, or you're stuck for a recipe idea. There's so much value in having all those tools at your fingertips. Okay, so if the Spring into Life program gave you some flexibility so that you could fit in your workouts while still running a busy life, if it gave you live workouts with me over the phone so I could get you humming twice a week, if it gave you accountability by having to submit those assessment forms at the end of the week and tell me how you're going, if it gave you some support, some feedback, and some options when you were feeling like you couldn't do something. If you had that trainer that cared, which that was something I didn't have. I didn't have a trainer or a coach that knew what I was doing or cared about the fact that I couldn't do it or I didn't do it. That's the trainer I want to be for you. The one that can say, hey, get in touch with me if you've fallen off the wagon. Hey, if you're having trouble, let me help you back on. Or if you can't do that exercise, tell me and I'll figure out a different way. Everybody needs that type of trainer. You guys all do. We all need it to make things happen. If the Spring into Life gave you nutrition tasks that were achievable for real people, weekly, fortnightly, whatever it might be, if it gave you support and actual access to a nutritionist, which is something we don't have access to all the time. It's not common you get to talk or ask a question to a qualified naturopath nutritionist who will be able to answer you in a jiffy. So it's those sorts of things that make a big difference to our ability to overcome the barriers we face. And if it gave you the motivational strategies to keep you on that roller coaster, to pick you up when you'd fallen off, to say, hey, stop, dust yourself off, get back on, this is what we'll do. To reinvigorate you when the fire in your belly to achieve what you want to achieve has completely diminished. And that's what the power of a group is. That's what a program is meant to do. It's meant to keep you motivated, to keep that fire in your belly. Would it be worth it to you to be a part of that? Would it be worth it to you and your family to be a part of that? So you can start it now, and I really would love you to be in this intake. We're in the middle of the year. It's time now to really step it up and progress and really make some changes to how healthy and fit I know that you can all be. So this is what you're going to get. You're going to get full access to Joy's Fitness Hub, which is where the program sits. So Joy's Fitness Hub is like the gym, and the Spring into Life program is like all of the classes that you get within that gym. It's valued at $127 a month itself because of so much of the program and the tasks involved in it and the way it's laid out. You get 2 live workouts with me on the phone above that are bonus to your program workouts. You don't have to do them all. They're an option, and they're really popular. It's where you get to say g'day to everybody in here. There's 50 people on, and then I boss you around for 20 to 30 minutes, and the day's done. Workout's ticked. You get a weekly stretch session because we believe in recovery, and stretching's not always something that we find easy to do. So getting talked through a stretching session is really good. You get the diary that I showed you in the bonuses, the spiral-bound diary that outlines the first 24 weeks. You get the flash drive, the USB, with all of the audios and the videos loaded on it. You get the MP3 player where you just press play, you plug it in your ear, and you just do the workout with me. So it really ticks the box when you don't want to have to think about it and you just want to be told what to do. You can get your downloadable e-recipe book with those 75 recipes ready to go, and you get the nutrition tutorials from Stacey, which are so valuable in itself. Now, that's a total value of $659. But you have 2 choices to make. One is that you do nothing, zilcho, and you don't take this journey, and you don't come on board with Stacey and I and all of the people in the Spring into Life program as it is, or you give it a go. You give it a crack. Because once you're in there, I can guarantee you're going to love it. And the whole family will too. I've got kids that, do it with their mums. I've got daughters away at uni that do it with their mums. It really is a family-friendly program because everyone can have fun doing the fitness sessions, cooking some new things, learning about food. It's a fun way to get fit and healthy. So please take this opportunity. Make a step in the right direction and join the Joy's Fitness Hub and the Spring into Life program. I'd love to have you on board. In fact, more the merrier. I can't wait to get to know you. I really want to find out about how I can help you in any way possible, Stacey and I included. Remember, one part of our program is that we like to be in contact with the people in our group. You don't have to be anonymous. You may find it hard to reach out at the start, but we want you in there as part of our group and helping you every step of the way. Guys, thank you so much for listening to tonight's webinar and episode. I hope that we've lifted health and fitness on your priority list just that little bit more. And remember, TWD, thinking, wanting, and doing. This is the doing part. Getting it done, locking in to making some changes and achieving something and making it happen. Good night, guys, and thanks so much for joining me.